Take questions from the media.
All right. Well, back to Provo we come, and it's our last game here. And after looking at the last week, the situation that we're in. We're obviously sitting at 9-2, and have this last game to focus on. It's for the seniors. This is their last go around and our last time being in Lavelle Stadium with them. So, looking to focus on them and performing at our best for them, and learning some of the learning for some of the things that we can improve on from last week and the week before, and getting ready for a team like Houston, who's dangerous, has beaten some teams and surprised some teams along the way. And Willie Fritz is a really good coach. He's obviously, look at what Tulane's doing with what he did there, and he's establishing his culture and his program in Houston, and I know they're going to be really excited to come here and play this game. So we got to be ready for that. We just got to get ready to move on and control the stuff that we can control, which is perform at our best and make sure that we give our fans and our seniors what they want this weekend, and that's hopefully ending the season on a positive note with a win. So that's what our focus will be on. Super Bowl number 12, and away we go. But really proud of the team, proud of the players and the coaches, and how hard they worked to get back in that game last week. And really just want to say thank you to all the fans that were in that stadium in Tempe and showed up and made a lot of noise for us. We had so much representation from our Cougar fans, and Cougar Nation showed up, so they were awesome. Hope they know we appreciate them and love them, and I'm looking forward to seeing all that royal blue at home on Saturday night. So I'm looking forward to that game, and I'll take any questions you guys may have. Happy Thanksgiving week, by the way.
Thanks, Coach. Happy Thanksgiving to you as well. We'll start with questions from Mitch Harper and then Jared Lloyd.
Yeah, happy Thanksgiving, Kalani. From your film study over the weekend, what did you see as reasons why the offense executed at a higher level in the second half?
I think it's probably a number of things. That there's a lot of different variables that go into it. I think we've got to, establish what we want to get done in our games, and how we want to approach our strategy and lean on the strengths that we have as an offense. I like what we did in the second half, and just want to see our team put points on the board and give us a chance. And I think what we did second half is more like what we should do.
What communication, if any, has the Big 12 provided you on all the potential scenarios to get your team into the Big 12 championship game after this weekend?
I think everybody knows a lot of the different scenarios. All I care about is focusing on the seniors and trying to find a way to control the stuff that we can control, which is how we play this weekend and how we prepare today. And then we'll just see what happens afterwards. But the goal is to try to go 1-0 this week. That's got to be our primary goal, and then we deal with the results of how that affects everything else from there on.
Kalani, there was audio allegedly leaked from the stuff that was going on in your locker room at halftime, particularly kind of a player speech going on. Is that a concern that these types of things get out, or whether that's being infiltrating the locker room or that type of thing? I just wonder what your response is to that type of thing.
Yeah, Big 12 is looking into it. They're reviewing everything that happened in the game, from on the field when the game happened to the penalties, to all these different things, to the incompletion or completion with Chase Roberts. All those things they're handling all that, and even the recording. So they're looking into all of that stuff, and they'll deal with it. I think I trust the Big 12 leadership and just let them handle that. I'm more focused on what can we do this week and what can we do today, and make sure that we perform a lot better than we did last weekend.
What's the message to the guys as far as getting? You mentioned after the game talking about winning this for the seniors and managing that energy and bringing it into this game. What's the message to try and make sure that that's approached the way you want it to be?
Yeah, I think this is a great week for us to look at gratitude and appreciation. It'll be the theme of the week, and I think we got to live it, and there's a lot to be thankful for, the situation that we're in. Obviously, we would like to have the situation we have in be better, But I don't know how many of you guys thought we'd be sitting here at 9-2 at this time. I think we expected to be that or better, But now that we're dealing with reality, which is we're sitting here in this position and we can control, which is this week and what we do today. But at the same time, we should have a high level of appreciation and gratitude for where we're at, the people that we get to do it with, those that we represent, and just a really cool, have different perspective on things. Now, the wins and losses are part of the sport, but learning and appreciating that's something that we can control as well.
Thanks, guys. We'll take our next questions from Jake Hatch and then Jay Drew.
Yeah, Kalani, you said you're happy where you're at 9-2 because, as you mentioned, a lot of people projected you guys to have maybe 4 or 5 wins overall. Now, as you look forward to Houston this weekend with the Big 12 title game still a possibility, what's the mindset? What's the message to your team?
Yeah, just control this game. We can control what we got to do here and not focus on anything else but what we have, and that's playing against Houston. The preparation against Houston, we can't really be concerned about what everybody else is doing. We just got to be focused on this game and taking advantage of what we have, which is we have something great right now going into this last week, and we get to finish it at home. And we can find a way to get one for the seniors and also find a way to get in double-digit wins, get that in our column. So a lot of really cool things to play for. We're still we're in a conference. I mean, it's really cool that these guys are. I think even the fans, everyone's going to get used to being in the conference now. This is only our second year since we've had independence for so long. That there's still a lot to play for, and there's still a lot of really cool things that these guys are still. There's still a lot of all conference accolades, things like that they can still earn, and there's a really cool. I mean, it's a really cool vibe that being in this partnership in the Big 12 is going to be a lot of fun, and still lots to think about, and lots to play for, but really focusing on the stuff we can control, which is our performance this weekend, and that starts by what you do today.
Reports have emerged that Jay Hill may be in the mix for the Utah State job, among others. How do you handle in-season recruitment of your coaches versus preparation for games?
The reports of Jay Hill possibly being the head coach has been around since he first showed up here day one. So he's very capable of being an amazing head coach anywhere that would want him. I'm gonna do everything in my power to keep him here because I love having him around. He's a great advisor to me and a great coach, and he's part of the family. So, but it makes sense why we have a lot of candidates to be head coaches on our staff, and so that means we're doing some things right, and as long as we keep that going, I hope we can have candidates for head coaching jobs, that are mentioned every year, and that's this year no different, especially with him.
Kalani, obviously you're going to honor a bunch of seniors Saturday. What are the characteristics? How do you describe this particular senior class and what they've done for the program?
Oh man, these guys are awesome. I have just been able to see how much they've grown, literally in their body size, but also mentally, spiritually. They've become the men that their parents want them to become, and to do it and be a part of that path and be a part of that transition for me is a huge honor. And so these guys have sacrificed quite a bit to be here, and they've given up a lot of their effort, energy to get this program to where it's at now. They've helped usher us into a power conference like the Big 12, and they've done a great job representing us the right way. Now, are they all perfect? No, but they are to me, and the one thing that they're committed to is learning and becoming better, and I value them and trust them and love them. But there's so much passion and energy and belief in this group. We're where we're at because of our senior leadership, and so that's why I'm trying to be focused on them and being part of a senior class that can go out with a win is huge at home in front of your fans and family, and so that's what I'm hoping to provide for those guys. But they mean the world to me, and we're in a position now because of their leadership and because of what they've done in the last 4 or 5 years.
We'll take our next questions from Kevin Reynolds and then Mitch Harper.
Hey, Kalani, I know you talked about it a little bit after the game. How's Harrison doing, and do you expect him back this week, and any other injuries from last week?
I think Harry will be doubtful. Sad because he's playing such great football, but it's not season ending, so we're hoping to get him back soon afterwards. But I think this week will be a stretch, and we'll have to see how he progresses from today, even from yesterday to today. So never say never, but man, he's so important to us in our program. I just don't want to put him in harm's way if there's any. I mean, it's a game, but we're talking about his livelihood. So whatever we can do to allow him to recover and be at his best, that's what we're going to do. Yeah, he's doubtful. Who else did you ask about? Did you ask about anybody else, or was that just Harry?
That was the main one.
Yeah.
And then just kind of going off of Jay's question, Tyler Batty in particular, I know he talked about coming back because he thought this team could be good in the Big 12 and he wanted to finish out kind of his years here. How much did you talk to him specifically about coming back to be a leader on this team, and how much has he meant to you in particular?
Yeah, he's meant so much, and he's been through so much, and he's been offered so much, and so he's got to have opportunities and to have. I mean, that's kind of. I don't think it's a secret that people have been trying to get after other people's players, and so he's definitely could have gone somewhere else for money if he wanted to, but he's all about legacy, and he's all about doing what he can to help this program. This is his home, and so a lot of what we've done is you can see in the way he plays that he wants this place to succeed, and we've done some great things because of him and because of his teammates that are seniors. And so it's been a huge addition to our program. I love coaching him. I love what he's about. He's a local product from Payson, and he's one of the many seniors that we're going to honor. And just the program is in good hands because of him and because of his teammates. But I feel really good about it, what he's done here as a player and as a captain.
Kalani, wanted to follow up on your comments about the Big 12 looking into that audio and the penalty or the lack of penalties, things like that at the end. What does that entail? Like, could there be a fine for ASU? Like, what are they looking into? What could that lead to potentially?
Well, I don't know. I didn't really check into it. I don't. I just trust the Big 12 and then the leadership and for them to look into things. I'm not. The game's done, so I'm not like sitting here complaining about anything. We just got to move on. But that's their job, is to look into stuff and see was it done, was everything done the right way, and that's I want to let them handle that. I can handle what I can control, which is getting the team ready to roll. And I'm proud of these guys and doing it for the seniors. That's what these seniors have done so much for this program, and I've learned so much from these guys, and let's give everything we got for them because they've done it for us, and so that's kind of the goal. Let the Big 12 leadership handle everything else, but we're gonna be focused on our next opponent.
And with these seniors, 20 I see are listed. They navigated a pandemic. Some of them, Big 12, like just the impact of what they've kind of done to set maybe a foundation for this Big 12 era for BYU. Your thoughts on that?
Oh yeah, I mean it's a huge part of where we're at now. They're a big part of us getting into the Big 12, us making sure that we represent well in the Big 12, on and off the field, in the classroom, just the way they carry themselves, seeing them interact with the other team and their fans. I mean, they've done a great job, and so like I said, I love coaching these guys. I want to do everything I can to help them, but this helped them get a win. But the program has been led by them, and I've been really pleased with what they've done overall with this team, and all these seniors. They can be really proud of what they've done and how the program is going right now because of them. So that's I can't say enough to show my appreciation and love for them. But man, they're awesome.
We'll take our last questions from Jake Hatch.
Kalani, obviously there's going to be changes coming to roster sizes. It's going to be pared down to 105 players. How are you going to handle that, obviously, going forward? I know it's a bigger picture question, but how are you going to handle it?
Well, I think a lot of coaches are kind of voice their opinions on it, and not a lot of them are happy about it. So it's a struggle when you have to cut your family down, and you have to trim the roster, and so it creates a lot of issues. And so for us, we'll have to figure out how to do that and to get the roster down to 105. I think that's going to be a difficult thing for a lot of teams, not just us, but it's pushing guys out that have done so much for our program, and that's always a hard thing for me to deal with. And so I'm no different than anyone else. I mean, they all love their players too, and so it's an unfortunate part of the rules, but we got to abide by them, and we'll do the best that we can with it.
I was also going to ask you with regards to Thanksgiving this week, how is your schedule adjust, if at all?
Yeah, I think on Thanksgiving we'll try to move things up a little bit into the morning for practice, and then try to give the young men a chance to go and be with their families for Thanksgiving. We'll kind of, everybody will have a place to go. I'll have players in my house, and we'll have players different places, but most of them want to go with their teammates and be around their families, and a lot of them have family members coming into town. So it's really cool, man. We get to end the season on this week, and had to be home and to be around family and loved ones, and to show your gratitude and appreciation for them. And these guys can show their gratitude by going out there and playing a game, and what an honor for them to do that and to show love for their family. So this is going to be a lot of fun. Just want to make sure that we show at our best, because our seniors and our fans and our players, they deserve that.
Thanks so much, Coach. We're grateful for you.
All right, guys. Love you guys. Thanks. Go Cougs. Appreciate it.
We'll have Connor Pay up next.
I gotta be better. I gotta be more careful. Yeah.
Cristiano wanted to think about others first. Love to see babe.
Hi, Connor. Happy Monday. How are
Hi guys. How's it going? Sorry, I just had to get told my rules. Make sure I don't say anything stupid. Don't say anything inappropriate. Don't be mean to them. So that's the plan.
Thanks, Connor. We appreciate that. We'll go ahead and start with questions from Jared Lloyd and then Mitch Harper.
Connor, I've kind of got a more of a negative question and a positive question, so I guess I'll start with the more negative one. How hard is it as a player when you hear, leaked audio of a, kind of a private halftime locker room talk or things like that? Like, what was that impact? How's that impact you guys?
Well, it made me want to run through a wall again at around 11:30 last night when I heard it again on my TikTok. So, no, I think obviously not super appropriate. I don't think to have, an employee of the school you're at, take a video of a private team moment like that, So, but at the end of the day, honestly, we don't care that much.
Now, kind of the big picture thing, this is senior week, obviously. What do you feel like has been the biggest benefit to you of being at BYU? It's kind of a chance to reflect.
Oh, gosh, how long do you have?
As long as you want.
I don't think that's true. But, no, I think really everything positive in my life from the last 4 years has had to do with one form or another of my interactions and my attendance at BYU. And, I think I can attribute to a lot of the positive things in my life being because of this university. This is where my parents met. This is where my dad got his law degree to be able to provide for our family. And so the life that I've had and the life that my siblings have had and all of that stuff has stemmed because of BYU and because of what it's given back to my family. And so, obviously it's a lot of emotions, knowing I'm graduating this semester and this will be my last time playing, in Lavelle Edwards. It's it's an emotional week. It's the end of this era of my life, and but couldn't be more grateful for the university, the athletic program, and the Marriott School of Business. This is what I'm graduating in. Has been very much life-changing for me, and I couldn't see myself anywhere else.
Connor, to follow up on that, what is it about you think this program that you laid out how your family met here, and you got siblings that have been at BYU or going to BYU? What is it about this program that kind of generations want to be part of it if they've experienced it, you think?
I think there's a lot of reasons. Obviously our faith is probably number one. I'd have to say I don't think you can have a more faith-filled experience at any other university in the country, regardless of what religion you follow. If you're a person that has faith in God, that's only going to be strengthened coming to BYU. And I think Jake has talked a lot about that, even having a Jewish background, and how he's grown stronger in his faith being at BYU. And I think that's was one of the biggest draws for me. You get to interact and rub shoulders with some pretty amazing people, church leaders, priesthood holders, all those things. And for me, obviously faith is the most important thing in my life, and so I think for me and for my family, that's probably the biggest draw. I'd have to say is just the fact that it's a faith-filled institution, and being a private institution, we get to kind of infuse that into every aspect of the university, in the classroom, on the football field, and team and position meetings. We start all those things with a prayer, which really just kind of levels your head and brings you back to what's most important, and so that you can have God with you every step of the way at this university, which is a pretty special thing. And it's not that you can't have that elsewhere, but it's pretty fun to be able to get it from both sides, where it's not only coming from me and my personal life, but also from the university reinforcing that.
Did going through last year's senior day for the Oklahoma game, did it kind of prepare you a little bit for maybe the emotions that will probably be coming ahead on Saturday, you think?
Yes, I'd have to. It's been a lot. I kind of know what to expect now. It's been a lot less of like an emotional week for me, just because I think I really did think that was my last time walking off the field at Lavelle last year. And so kind of having experienced those emotions already, I think I'm definitely a little more prepared for it this time.
Thanks, guys. We'll take our next questions from Sean Walker and then Jake.
Well, Connor, just to kind of follow up on like the general vibe of that, but from the senior class in particular, I think there are about 20 players that are on the list that are going to be honored with you on senior day. There could be a couple more because the COVID year technically still exists.
Sure.
So there may be more. But from the group that we know now, like, what do you hope kind of the legacy of this senior group is? Guys like you and Braden, Sam. I know you've known J-Rob for a while on the defensive side, Blake, John, like, I could name them all, but I'm not going to do. Like, what do you hope kind of your collective legacy is on BYU and this BYU football program?
I think we would just hope that, our legacy is one of, resilience and toughness, and that we represented BYU the right ways. We carried BYU into the Big 12, and I think just that we're a group that regardless of how things were going, we always showed up, and we never bagged down even when things were going crappy, and I think just the resiliency to come back from how tough things were last year, and to try to help lead the team to where we are now. I hope that's that's the legacy that we can leave. So, just resilience, toughness, and that we represented BYU the right way as we carried them into a Power 4 conference.
All right, Connor, on the field looking at Houston this weekend, what are you expecting from the Cougars versus the Cougars?
Well, I think they're really, they're solid on defense, especially up front. Their strength kind of shows up and sticks out on film. There's not very many people moving them off the line of scrimmage. They're really big and they're really strong. And then they mix up the fronts on you a little bit, and they try to keep you thinking and keep you guessing. And no, I think they're a quality defense, and they play well as a unit. They complement each other, I think, from first, second to third level.
Also, I wanted to ask you, in terms of the game this week, when it's a home game late at night in late November, I'm a fan of that.
Yeah, who can't be a fan of Lavelle under the lights? Wear a coat. It's not going to be that bad. You can literally buy coats with batteries in them now. Like, it's not that big of a deal.
Perfect. Thanks for the tip, Connor. Appreciate you being here.
Yep. See you guys.
That's all the questions we have. Have a great week. All right, we'll have Jake Retzlaff up next. Hi, Jake. Thanks for being here. How's it going?
Good, yeah. Thanks for having me.
We'll go ahead, jump into some questions. We'll start Jared Lloyd and then Jake Hatch.
Jake, these last couple of weeks when you weren't quite able to cap things off and get those wins, how did you approach it? What's been your mindset, to rebound after, all of the successes in similar games earlier?
Yeah, I think staying process-oriented is the key, keeping the main thing. Just staying focused, not getting distracted with whatever's going on, whether it's the Big 12 standings or whatever's happening. Just don't get distracted with it. Keep the main thing, and stay process-oriented. It's kind of the deal.
So basically nothing's changed is what you're saying, because that's, I think, the message you've had for us pretty much the whole time.
Yeah, well,
it's also senior week, Jake. So I just wanted to ask what these seniors that are going to be walking, what they mean to you.
They mean a lot, man. They've helped us get to where we are. I think this is a special senior class. A lot of these guys had to fight through some tough times in COVID and stuff like that, and they're just still here, still putting good product on the field, leading the guys. So I'm just proud of these guys, the way they've led the team in so many ways and pushed us in the right direction at every turn.
Jake, you had JoJo Phillips open down that sideline last Saturday. Take us through those back-to-back plays, also the interception to Darius Lasser. Do you hold on to those? Is that something you think about over the weekend, or are you quick to flush that type of stuff?
You definitely think about it. There's no doubt that Saturday night it took me a lot of thoughts going through your head, especially in a game like that where it's that tight and you roar back with a great comeback. And then that happens. Yeah, of course I think about that stuff. But, it's Monday now. It's a new week, and so by now it's all been flushed, and it's about the new week.
Looking at Houston this week, have you had a chance to really dig into the film yet? Like, what do you see from the Cougars?
It's a good defense. This defense has not had a lot of help from the offensive side of the ball this year, but it's still a good defense. They've definitely are tough in a lot of aspects. They play tough opponents tough. So it's gonna be a fun battle Saturday night.
Thanks, guys. We'll take our next questions from Mitch Harper and then Kevin Reynolds.
Jake, what do you attribute as to why the offense performed at a higher level in that second half against ASU?
Just attention to detail, execution. It's simple as that, man. Looking back at the film, it's like there's so many opportunities we had in that first half to make plays, and we're just not executing at the level we did in the second half. And it shouldn't take a fire to be lit under us like what happened. Obviously, like when you go down big, all of a sudden it's like, all right, we got to perform great, or we're gonna get blown out. And so we put some of our best product on the field in that second half, And I'm proud of the guys for showing the resilience. Like, when they're down, we're not out of it. And it's obvious we were not out of it. I mean, obviously, the last drive, the last play, it came out of one play at the end. So just proud of the guys the way they learned from that first half and said, we're not going to do that again. We're going to go out there and make plays, and they did.
Go ahead, Kevin.
Just had a off-the-field question for you. I'm curious, have you had a chance or have had much of a relationship with Robbie Bosco, just both guys from California and both of your journeys to BYU? Have you talked about that with him at all?
I got a great relationship with him. Obviously, he's in the building, and so, I run into him a bunch of times. Like, he'll be working out in the training room, and I'll run into him and just talk to him a little bit. He's always asking about the team, asking how I'm doing, asking how, like early on, asking how my development is going in the offense and stuff like that. And so he's been fun to be able to just chat and lean on a little bit. That's the cool thing about this place is we got a lot of guys like that in the building, whether it's coaches who are like that or guys in the building on the administrative side, like Chad Lewis, him too. Like, I've been able to talk to him a bunch, lean on him a lot. And that's the cool part about having so many former players in the building. Like, I mean, like even Tom Homo, like just being able to chat to him about football. He knows the game of football. He played, obviously, in the NFL. And so just a collection of guys we have here to be able to just – chuck ideas off of and just get feedback is awesome.
Of the former quarterbacks at BYU, has there been anybody that you've been closest to, that you've talked to the most, other than John Beck? I mean, I'm sure you talked to him the most. But
yeah, you stole that answer from me right there because I get to talk to him often, obviously, because I train with him and stuff like that. I don't know about, like, other than that, like, I've been able to have great conversations with everyone, which has been fun. Like, Jaron coming back for the game a couple weeks ago, like, that was fun. Seeing him before the Utah game. He was at the Utah game, so it was cool to talk to him. I got to build a little relationship with him because obviously we didn't overlap playing here, but our time here overlapped as he was getting prepared for the pro day and draft and stuff like that. Like, I got to talk to him a bunch. But like even like talking to guys like Max Hall, talking to Steve Young a little bit, talking to like all these guys. It's cool to have individual relationships with all of them and be able to just learn from them and just listen to what they have to say because it's good stuff.
All right, we'll go Jay Drew next, and then Jake Hatch.
Jake, after that win over Utah, a couple players, I think including yourself, said the practices weren't the sharpest because maybe the hangover effect, who knows why. What are you guys going to do to make sure that the same thing doesn't happen again after this really emotional game?
Just stay, like I said, process-oriented about what we're doing every day. Last week, honestly, I thought we had really good practice week. I think it was one of our best practice weeks of the season last week. So it's unfortunate to come up short like we did. So, we're just going to continue that. I don't know if I could say there's a more emotional game than the Holy War. So I don't think this one hit that level. Now, of course, it was emotional and obviously a crazy how it ended with all the field storming and all that stuff. But, I think the guys, I don't think that there's too much of an effect, and we're just going to approach it like we did last week and just, stay about practice, stay about the process, and get back to it.
And then my second question, is there a concern? A lot of your passes are getting batted down at the line of scrimmage. Is that just a concern, or kind of why does it seem like the last half of the season that's happened to you?
It's obvious that D-lines are making a concerted effort to, like, do that. They're going to bull rush and put their hands in the air, and so it's just going to be important to find those throwing lanes. I know that my tackles are good at getting hands down, so they'll be doing that. And so, it obviously affected a couple throws in the game, the early pick and then the 2-point play to Kibo that got tipped. And so, we're just moving through that and just, getting over that and finding ways to mitigate that and just, not get balls batted down. Obviously, that's frustrating.
Jake, we'll just have you ask one more question.
Yeah, I just got one more. We just had Connor Pace sitting down with us, Jake, talking about how he believes BYU is the best university for a young person of faith to come and have that experience. You've had your story chronicled multiple times over, but would you concur with his statement saying it's the best place for a young man of faith?
Yeah, 100%. I mean, I've experienced it. I know a lot of other guys have experienced it of the LDS faith and many who are not. So I 100% agree.
Awesome. Thanks so much. Appreciate you taking the time to be here, Jake.
Thanks.
Have a great week. Our last questions will be for Isaiah Bagnah.
What's going on, everybody?
Hi, Isaiah. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good. It's really good to see you.
Likewise.
Okay, we'll go ahead jump into questions from Jared Lloyd and then Jake Haft.
Zay, I know the outcome wasn't what you guys wanted, but how proud are you of the way the defense stepped up the physicality in the second half last week and were able to get some big fourth down stops?
Honestly, it was awesome to see. Just see the guys go out there and really fight, lay everything out on the line for each other. It was huge to see. And, that's a testament just to how our defense is and the kind of mentality that we come with when we want to, So it was really good to see.
Obviously, being the last regular season game and senior week, what's this journey been like for you and the way that this senior class has kind of helped this program have such success this year?
Coming into this last game, it's crazy because you never think it's gonna happen. Especially for me, like, man, this is my sixth year. This is my sixth season of college football. So. I guess just see, how far I've came, how far, even the guys that I'm playing with, the other guys like Tyler Batty, Blake Mangelson, John Nelson, the rest of the seniors on the team, this game is going to mean a lot, right? Everything that we've prepared for, everything that we've done throughout our whole careers come to this exact game, this very moment, right? So, like I said, it's crazy that it's here already, but, it's cool, man. We get to go out there and really play our game and lay it all out on the line once again.
Isaiah, obviously, senior day, what's the emotion going to be like as you walk out on that field at Lavelle Edwards Stadium on Saturday night?
Well, first and foremost, Lavelle Edwards Stadium, that's my last game there, man, and that in itself is already crazy. It's a feeling like no other, truthfully, just running out from the tunnel into that field, man, and having the crowd there, the fans, the atmosphere, it's truly euphoric. So it's going to be one to remember, and, I'm going to try my best to soak it all in every second I get, man, because it's important. And I've had some wonderful memories there, man, some super highs moments, some, unfortunately low moments as well. But, it's all part of the story, man. I'm just grateful that I get the opportunity to be a part of it.
And looking at on the field, I know it's early in the week, but what do you see from Houston on tape offensively?
Yeah, I mean, they got a good offense, man. Obviously, they got some talented players, and especially when they play some higher competitive level, some pretty good teams, they play to that level. And so they show up, man, and so we're excited that we can go out there and show up as well and, see if we can get that last W under our belt, man.
Thanks, Jake. We'll take our next questions from Jay Drew and then Sean Walker.
Yeah, Isaiah, I was going to ask you what has already been asked about your emotions on senior night, but is there a memorable play? What kind of stands out in your mind as maybe one of your favorite moments at LES in your career?
Yeah, honestly, there's a lot of great moments I've had at Lavelle Edwards Stadium, being a part of part of this program and also being on the other side. I've had some great memories. So I think my most recent favorite one, though, is for sure the Oklahoma State game at the end. We were clawing and, scratching for that W, man, for it to come down to the last second, and it was incredible. The atmosphere, just the feeling of the guys, and it was cool because it was a moment that I've never had before, especially just as a collective. Everybody on the sideline definitely believing and, keeping the confidence up and till the very last second of the game, right? It was something that, what football is all about. And truthfully, it was kind of like a movie, man. So that's definitely up there for me.
Zay, you touched on this. I'm glad you mentioned that last part about how you've been a part of some pretty special moments at LES, even not necessarily wearing Cougar Blue. Because could you have imagined going back, to 2019 or the 2020 season that you would be celebrating senior day at BYU wearing that blue and white?
Man, if you would have asked me during those years if I knew that I was going to be here, I'd be like, you're crazy, man. You know what I'm saying? But, you know, it's like I said earlier, man, I'm so blessed, beyond blessed to be here and be a part of this wonderful program. And, man, I'm truly honored that I get to finish my college football career here. You know, it's crazy, like you said. Back then, man, especially coming from Boise State, you know, it's not really the best relationship, you know what I'm saying, between programs and communities. So it's but I'm definitely glad to be on this side, for sure, to finish off.
Well, kind of on that note, if I gave you a time machine and I let you go back in time to talk to a little 16 or 17-year-old kid in Lethbridge who was about to make a college decision, I think you were looking at places like UConn and UMass, and eventually you signed with Boise State, like you mentioned, before winding up at BYU. What would be the number one piece of advice, I guess, you would give that teenager from Lethbridge?
100%. The number one advice that I give them, truthfully, is to just trust in the process, man. Trust God and trust in the plan that, you know, you have set for yourself and that He has set for you. Everything's going to work out. And it's crazy because to come from the place that I did to make it to where I'm at now, you know, it's beating a lot of odds, right? It's coming from a different country, playing a different style of football, all different kinds of things, doing different ways to get recruited, different routes and all of the above, you know. So it takes faith to go through all that, you know what I'm saying, and to make it to where I have came so far, you know what I'm saying. And so, yeah, just to trust in God and trust in yourself, man, trust in your ability, and that, you know, whatever happens, everything will be all right, everything will work out, and you'll get what you deserve if you put the work in for it.
That's great advice. Okay, we'll take our last questions from Mitch Harper.
What's next after, you know, obviously you hope to have a lot more football games left ahead of you this season, but what's some of the goals that you have, whether football-wise or beyond football, after your days at BYU are done?
Yeah, I mean, after this season, man, I'm going to go out and train. I'm still looking for a little spot to call home for the next few months, but I'm going to go train and continue to pursue my dreams of playing professional football, man, whether that's, you know, here in the United States or up north of the border, man. Regardless, this isn't my last ride in this game, this wonderful game, man. So, yeah.
So whether NFL or CFL, then
yes, sir.
That's what you're referring to. That could be an option for you.
Yes, sir, 100%. But like I said, my eyes are set, man. I'm focused. You know, of course, I'm finishing this season, but that's my plan after this, is to continue playing football, man.
Thank you.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Appreciate you taking the time to be here. Have a great weekend and happy Thanksgiving.
Appreciate you guys. See ya.